We are live, bitches. It's a great day for the podcast. Great day to talk some football. Lay them on the line. Week number 4 is fucking here already. We're already a month in this fucking season. We got Mason Doyle joining us later in the show. Talk Ravens win last night over the Bills. We got a fucking another Monday night doubleheader coming your way. Roger Goodell said one wasn't enough. Let's do another. Let's run it back. So we got 2 games coming tonight. So that means 4 picks a person. Two picks each game, each person. So we're going to have plenty of picks for you. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for Mason Doyle joining us later. And let's shoot it into the Thursday night game, and then we'll break down some of the games from yesterday. We go back to Thursday. It was the Dallas Cowboys breaking their losing streak with the win over the G-Men, 20-15. Dak Prescott, 2 touchdowns, 7th straight win over the Giants for Dak Prescott. So, despite the Cowboys' woes, they can hang their hat on that they own the New York Giants.
Are we surprised here? The Giants are terrible, even though they've looked better. Yeah, I'm just checking. We've wrote them off already. I don't think the Cowboys are all that either, to be honest. I think a good Cowboys team would have beat this Giants team by 20-plus points. I get their division rivals, and those are always close, but I wasn't impressed with either side in this game, to be honest.
No, it was kind of a slot fest of a game. I think it was a game the Giants kind of needed to have, and they did enough to hang around. But, fucking field goals aren't going to cut it every time, and that's all they were able to muster up. So if they would have scored a touchdown or 2 in there, finished off a drive, they could have fucking knocked off the Cowboys. So the Cowboys get the win, but they didn't play great. Outside of Dak and CeeDee Lamb, this team doesn't have much else. They didn't have a lot of firepower anywhere else. And it kind of showed. You got Jake Ferguson. He's your next big target after CeeDee Lamb. That's not good.
Yeah, he's a good tight end, though. I like Jake Ferguson.
He's not a bad tight end. I do have him in fantasies. I'm not trashing him, but it's just like the fact we talked about Jerry Jones 2 weeks ago says he can't afford Derrick Henry. Well, we'll get into last night's game. That was a fuck-up, big-time fuck-up. And now they're stinking at 2-2. I don't know. I think this Cowboys team is not very good.
I kind of missed when the Cowboys have a damn good running back. I know Zeke in his prime was okay, but now they've got Dowdle and still running Zeke when he should be in a retirement home. They need someone back like DeMarco Murray. They need the normal Dallas Cowboys running back. They're more fun to watch when they have that.
I agree. When they have a feature back like that, it does add an element to things. But for now, they're stuck with Rico Dowdle. And they're stuck at 2-2. We'll see if they win next week. Let's go to the Sunday games. It was Victory Monday for the second week in a row for the Indianapolis Colts. Knocking off an undefeated team, never easy to do. And we did it yesterday against the Steelers, 27-24. We're going to get my ass hat of the week out of the way because it was in this game. Despite the win, Colts head coach Shane Steichen is this week's ass hat of the week. He's ass hat because Anthony Richardson goes out for a couple plays with a hip stinger. And he sits out a couple plays. They say, okay, he's ready to go back in. They bring him back in. The first thing they do, design run. He just got his fucking hip jacked up, and we call it a design run. He gets hurt again. He's out for the fucking rest of the game. Old man Flacco has to come in. Now, we won the game, but still, this was a fucking biggest asshat move I saw. We're trying to win a football game, not a Darwin Award. And you throw him out there 2 plays after he gets hurt like he's a fucking crash test dummy. We thought, what do you think? After 2 plays after jacking his hip up, he's going to turn into fucking Bo Jackson? What are we doing?
Yeah, you're lucky you got that backup over there, Mr. Joe Flacco. Because I took the Colts money line twice, 2 different times. I looked at that game and bet it both times because I like them to beat the Steelers, and they went up big, fast, and then they kept letting freaking Justin Fields get back in the game. I know you guys were dealing with Joey Flacco, but you guys scared me there for a second.
We kept things interesting, that's for sure, but was all said and done, the former Super Bowl MVP and last year's comeback player of the year got it done. Joe Flacco, he's a hell of a quarterback. I would not be surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised, but would not be upset if we decided to actually keep him in the starting rotation.
What's the deal with Anthony Richardson? Is he out for a long period of time or what?
No, I think he'll be back next week. Okay. I think he'll be back.
You guys are fine either way. I would trust Joe Flacco in our backup position on any team.
There's a reason we went out and got him. He's a vet of the game, Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP. In my opinion, he should be a Hall of Famer.
He's the second best backup in the league right now.
Besides who?
You'll find out later tonight.
Oh, okay. For the Steelers, it's their first loss of the season. It felt like too easy to me. The Steelers always love to be like 9-8, 9-7 before we had the extra game. They're going to be around there, if not worse. They weren't going to be 4-0. They weren't going to be in 4-0. They were one of my big bets of the day yesterday. Moving on, our favorite division, NFC South, it was the Falcons with a nail-biter. Young-Ho Koo from 58 yards deep, 2 seconds left, knocks off Derek Carr and the Saints, who started off 2-0, now 2-2. The Falcons climb back to 2-2. And what were your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on this division race, too?
The division race is going to be awesome towards the end. I saw a tweet today. Someone tweeted, "My old hole boring, but my young hoe cool," and it was a Falcons fan. And I'm like, that's a solid tweet. What was it, a 52-yarder to win the game?
I was 58.
58?
Yeah, damn. He nailed it.
If only my Packers had kickers like that. Tampa Bay is still at the top. This was kind of a big game for the divisional matchups, but Atlanta pulls it out. The Saints are goddamn lucky they have Alvin Kamara. If they didn't have him, I'm not sure where they would be. I think they'd be 1-3, 0-4 right now. That man is still kicking it, doing what he does. I mean, he in the passing game, on the ground game, shit, he could probably throw the ball. I saw Taysom Hill scored 2 touchdowns. It's a Taysom Hill game, except he got hurt. I think he's out for a decent amount of time. But, congrats to the Falcons. Kirk actually played okay. He threw a pick, no touchdowns, but he found Drake London a bunch of times. Oh, my God, and Kirk fumbled? Maybe he didn't play okay. I only saw the fourth quarter of this game.
Yeah, but I wasn't able to watch a ton either.
I would guess the Saints will finish ahead of the Falcons. I think it's going to finish Bucks, Saints, Falcons, Panthers. I should find an exact bet on that.
Did you take that Bucks bet yet?
Nope, I haven't yet. I will, though.
You're waiting for the right week.
Right. I need them to lose. Once they lose, I'm going to take it.
Got it. Moving on with the noon slate. Do you want to get out of the way? Do you want to address the game? Do you want to hold off?
No, we can address the game.
All right.
I know there's a specific Vikings fan tuned in right now waiting to hear my reaction. And there's not much to say. We played like shit. They had an incredible first half. We fought back and tried to win. We've got a kicker with rocks for brains, and we lost. But guess what, Sheets? There's not often in the Packers-Vikings rivalry is there a clean sweep. And if we're going to split, I would much rather win later on in the year, in the end of December, than now. Because what I tell you last week, Sheets, is NFL winning a Super Bowl is about peaks and valleys. Vikings are on their peak right now. They have been. They're at the top of the top, and they will not go any higher than this. We're in the valley. We're in the valley. That's fine. I don't mind being in the valley in week 4, sitting there at 2-2 with 2 Malik Willis games. We'll be right there at the end. The Vikings, on the other hand, this is not one you want to be talked about as one of the greatest stories going on. You want to be being talked about in January and February. So I'm not too worried about it. I hate that we lost. It sucks. But at the end of the day, we're going to split with them. I'm going to be at the next Packers-Vikings game.
Okay.
We'll beat them there. We'll take care of business. We're going to remember this. Xavier McKinney is a dog. I love that guy. He's got 5 picks on the year, I think. We're going to be just fine. I'm not too worried about it. Congrats to the Vikings on winning your week 4 win and starting out 4-0. It's the best it's going to get all year.
So you don't think they're Super Bowl contenders?
The Vikings?
Yeah.
No. No. Sheets, I'm a big believer in you got to have a Super Bowl quarterback. And although Sam Darnold may look like one so far, he's not one. Can you see a headline that says Sam Darnold leads Vikings to win Super Bowl?
Right now, they look like the best team in football, is what I'm saying.
perfect right now. Right now they do. It's week 4. It's week 4, Sheets.
Yeah. I hear you. No, I hear you.
Like I said,
I'm just asking.
I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. They probably make the playoffs at this rate, which would be weird. I think there's a good chance you see 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs: Bears, Vikings, and Packers. I'd love to play them in the playoffs. Please let us play them in the playoffs. Yes.
Okay. So you're not worried at all.
No, I was pissed off that we lost. You never want to lose to your rival, but this, like I said, we're going to split with them. They're not going to sweep us. We're going to win at the end of the year when it matters. And I pray to God we see them in the playoffs.
Wow. So you want them not only in another game, you want them 3 times this year.
I want them 2 more times, yes.
Okay. We'll see what happens. Yesterday it was the Vikings hanging on.
Do you think the Packers are a playoff team?
Yeah, the Packers are a playoff team.
Do you think the Vikings are a playoff team?
I do.
So we're in agreement. You see 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs.
I think you could potentially, yeah.
All right.
Because, I mean, you look at the NFC West, the Rams. I don't know about the Rams right now. The Cardinals, no. So that looks like it could be a one division playoff team. Only one playoff team being the 49ers. Maybe the Seahawks, I guess.
But yeah, that'll be interesting.
The South's probably going to beat the shit out of each other. They're all finished with like around the same record. So that'll be tough. And then the NFC East, man, your second best hope. I guess you got the Eagles still. We'll get into them, but they don't look very good. Cowboys don't look very good. Fucking Commanders might be the best team in that division right now.
No, Sheets. They're much like the Vikings. They're looking great now. It's the Commanders. They're not gonna win that division.
I think there's a chance they win that division.
We'll see going forward.
We can go. I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, let's talk about the Eagles since we're on this division. They got shithoused, 33-16. Baker Mayfield went off, even though he got torched by Tom Brady pregame. He still played good, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and fucking the Eagles were nowhere to be found, man. That was a bad loss. That might have been one of the worst losses I've seen in a while.
Yeah, the Eagles are in trouble. Shout out us for Bucky Irving is most definitely sliding into that starting position. They shared carries this week, but he was presumably the starter, it looked like, and had a touchdown, but they both had 10 carries for 49 yards each. So that's it. I wonder what that running back room is like. Like when they go practice, are they like pissed at each other? And now they're like, is Rachaad White pissed at Bucky Irving, you think?
There could be some tensions there.
Might be good for a running back room.
It might be good. Maybe that's what you need.
Maybe that's what he's doing. But yeah, Baker the Bucs look fucking good. I really do think they're going to win this division. Like I said, I'm going to wait till they lose. And I'm going to bet that. But the Eagles, if I remember right, I was kind of following along in that game. They barely had the ball in the first half. I'm looking for the Buccaneers had 36 minutes of possession time to Eagles 23, and they just couldn't get anything going. What are you at on the Eagles? Are they a Super Bowl contender? At this point, I don't think they are.
No, I don't even know if they make the playoffs.
They're going to make the playoffs. There's 7 teams now that make the playoff sheets.
Yep.
And the Commanders are going to finish below the Eagles and the Cowboys.
I think the Commanders are going to win that division.
We'll see. But the Eagles are in trouble, you're right. And the Bucs, I think, are en route to win the NFC South. So I wasn't too surprised. I stayed away from this game betting wise. I think it was a 2.5 point spread, and I didn't know what was going to happen. So I didn't bet it. But
I was on the Bucs. I thought that was a good game for the Bucs at home. I'm not high on this Philly team. Something is wrong with Jalen Hurts. There's something wrong with the guy. I don't know if it's because he's missing those stud weapons from a couple years ago, but I don't know what's going on. But he's not the old guy.
He doesn't have much help right now. A.J. Brown's sideline. They have like 5 injuries on the offense. And I still can't decide what I think about Sirianni, if he's a good coach or not. You don't like him, do you?
I think he needs to get fired. I think he should be on the hot seat right now.
And hire Belichick mid-season? That's what I'm hoping for. Some coach gets fired and they hire Belichick for the interim coach for the rest of the year.
I don't want Belichick to go anywhere because I like him on the Manning cast.
You wouldn't love to see the Eagles struggle, and then you're a Cowboy closet fan. But let's say I don't know. You like the Jaguars. What if the Jaguars are 0-4? What if they fired Doug Marrone and brought in Bill Belichick week 7 and they end up making the playoffs? You don't think that'd be entertaining?
No.
Oh, I think that'd be awesome.
It's also Doug Peterson.
Yeah, he's looking like a dog shit coach.
I think he needs to be fired right now.
Oh yeah, what'd I say? Doug Marrone?
Yeah. No, you're good.
Who's that?
He used to coach.
For the Jags?
I think so.
Living in the mid-2000s. But your Jaguars look like shit.
Well, here's the thing. Trevor Lawrence, when he was quarterback that year with Urban Meyer, they lost 8 straight. And right now, everyone thought that was the worst they could get. They're like, this is the low point for the Jaguars. Urban Meyer's their head coach. They've now lost 9 in a row with Doug Peterson. Going back to last year, they've lost 9 games in a row, which is more games in a row they lost with Urban Meyer, the worst football coach in the history of the National Football League, dating back to the 20s.
I'm writing them off, by the way.
They're out.
You're good with that?
Yeah.
Wow, you love the Jaguars. I'm surprised.
No, I'm sorry. They're on their ass.
That they're officially our 4th team written off, and you still haven't written off the Panthers. Can we write them off?
Write the Panthers off.
Thank you. You were right they're on my list, but they're not on the Lamb on the Line list. This could be a good transition. I think they played at noon yesterday.
They did. They played the Bengals.
No. We wrote them off. The one team I wrote off that you hadn't, and they got a win this week, was the Broncos playing the Jets.
Yeah. How about that game?
That's an ugly football game. Thank God that was not nationally televised.
It was good defense, Sheets.
Bo Nix had -7 yards at half.
I did see that.
That's one wants to watch that.
That's impressive to win a game throwing for -7 at half and 60 yards total. I think that's damn impressive.
No credit to Bo Nix in that offense.
No. Bo Nix, he finished with a passing touchdown, though.
Oh, 60 yards, 2.4 yards per pass, 1 touchdown. The Jets, I think the Jets are in big trouble. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they were. And Rodgers and Salah are having some arguments there on the sidelines, I saw.
I've grown to like Aaron Rodgers the last few years, but it's still a fun sight to see him flip out and lose and melt down, putting the towel over his head. I get a kick out of that. I do like the guy as recent, but for old Rodgers, it's fun. I go back to when I used to hate him for the Packers. I see that old Rodgers and I'm like, well, I love this shit. 9 points a week after it was the Patriots, but a week ago, it's like, hey, there's the old Jets. They stomped the shit out of New England. And then this week, man, they're playing at home, fucking getting like remnants of a hurricane. The weather was somehow better than the play on the field.
I shout out my Iowa State boys when they do well. I got to give whatever the opposite of a shout out is to Breece Hall. He had 10 carries for 4 yards was all. I don't know what the hell that was about, but we need to start a betting trend on betting wide receiver ones unders when they're playing Pat Surtain because he just continues to lock down these guys.
Let's see who they play next week.
They play the Raiders. So Devontae, it's Devontae, but still, I still think he's going to lock down Devontae Adams. I'll be betting his under.
You heard that first here. Pat Surtain is clamping down on wide receiver ones. Take their unders. We'll keep track of who the Broncos play each week. Moving on to the next noon game. The Bears get a win over the Rams, 24-18. Caleb Williams looked pretty solid in this game. I'll give him that. Didn't throw for a ton of yards, but was 17 for 23. Had a touchdown. He led into 4 scoring drives. So,
well, they were in trouble, Sheets. I don't know if you saw this report, but some Bears guys basically went to their Bears offensive coordinator and said, "Hey, it was Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, someone else went to him and said, we got to be more aggressive because this shit ain't working." And what do you know? Yeah. They had a talk with the guy. The players had a player-initiated coach meeting and got them a dub over a shitty Rams team, but the dub's a dub, and Caleb Williams did play a lot better. We got to get our boy Jack Klingel on this podcast to talk about these 1-3 Rams because he was hitting me up before the season started. I need to be on. I got to get on. Well, buddy, we'll have you on when you're 1-6. We play that next week. Actually, Packers play the Rams. We'll have him on then.
We hear you, Jack. We'll get you on, buddy. If you want to talk about the Rams, the floor is all yours right now.
Yeah, we could talk about the Rams all day.
Moving on. This game wasn't great either, but it was down to the wire. The Texans win with 18 seconds left on a touchdown pass from C.J. Stroud to knock down the Jags. We alluded to them already a little bit. What the hell is wrong with the Jaguars? Doug Peterson, he's lucky he's still the head coach. I would have canned his ass after last week.
I'm just looking at the stat sheet right now. Tank Bigsby had 7 rushes for 90 yards. Is he stealing ETN's? Probably not, but that's impressive. And the Texans, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because it didn't look great, and I think the Jaguars are terrible, but it was a divisional game, divisional opponent, and they got the win. So that's all that matters. They moved to 3-1. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders, to be honest.
I'm not that high on them.
I'm not either. And when do you guys play them? Or you guys already played them or no? You did.
We played them week 1. Took them down to the wire and lost.
They've got the Bills next week coming off of a beatdown. So I'll be betting on the Bills versus the Texans next week.
I do kind of like that. Bounce back. I think that's got that written all over it, actually. I think you're dead on. Moving on, we're in the 3 o'clock territory now. The game of the 3 o'clock hour was the Chiefs and Chargers. Pat Mahomes, Kelsey actually got up for once. The last couple of games, he looked like he was about 50 years old. His ass was out there. He showed up. 7 catches, 89 yards. Yeah, I don't know if Taylor kicked his ass before the game or what happened. Maybe he didn't see her all week, too. Maybe that's why he was playing it. I'm not sure. But the Chargers go back to 500, 2-2. The Chiefs continue to win 1-score games every damn week. It wasn't pretty at times, but they got it done. What were your thoughts on this one?
2 things. Taylor Swift was not at the game, interesting enough, and Travis Kelce goes off. And the Chargers had that game from the start. The whole first half, they had all the momentum. Patty was turning the ball over, which I actually live bet the Chiefs when they were down 10-0 before what's-his-nuts said that insane stat about Patty Mahomes being 10-0 or 12-0 when he's down exactly 10 points. Did you know that?
No.
That's a crazy stat if that's true. I mean, they said it on live air, so I assume it is. But is Patrick Mahomes on a downfall?
I mean, yeah, I think a little bit. He looks a little bit out of shape recently. I'm not sure if he's in the best shape. He looks a little heavier around the waistline. And then he knocks out – I mean, he readies down Hollywood Brown. He knocks out his fucking star receiver for the season. He was close to ass out of the week, ripping up his receiver's ACL like that.
After a pick.
After throwing a pick, yeah.
He threw a pick, then proceeded to take his best receiver's ACL out of his leg. I don't know, man. Despite being 4-0 and them being the 2-time defending Super Bowl champs, I don't think they have it this year. I really don't. I think they're going to go – they'll have a good regular season, but I think they'll get bounced in the first or second round of the playoffs.
Do you think the Vikings are better than them right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
I think the Vikings could beat them right now.
I think so, too.
In 2025, not a chance.
At the end of the year?
For the playoffs, no. There'd be no Sam Darnold does not beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
I don't know. Right now, my money would be on Minnesota.
Right now, mine would be too, but that doesn't mean anything.
We'll see. It's hypothetical. I'm just wondering what your thoughts were.
What are your thoughts on the Chargers? Do I think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Even though they're the only or one of 3 undefeated teams, I really don't think they're the best team in the NFL. I think some of these teams will get it together by the time the playoffs roll. And that team would be Dallas. That team would be Philly. I think Buffalo is better than them. I think Baltimore would beat them in the playoffs. No, I don't think they're the best team in the NFL.
You asked me what I think about the Chargers. I don't think they're that good.
You don't think they could make some noise in the playoffs?
I don't know if they'll get to the playoffs.
Their defense is very good. And Gus Edwards, their running back, 2-headed running back attack was good too. I kind of like them to make the playoffs. I think they might. Give me a couple more weeks. I may put them in the right end column.
They've beaten the Raiders and they've beaten the Panthers.
Who do they got next week?
Denver on the road.
Ah, shit. Oh, my God. That over-under is going to open up at like 32, maybe below 30.
I'm going to take that under, too. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, I think so, too.
It's 36.5.
36.5?
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, I'm hammering that under. Neither of these teams can score.
No.
And the defenses are stout. That seems too easy. Maybe that's a trap.
You think so?
What? That seems way too easy. 36 points the Broncos have barely let up 36 points all year.
That's true.
They let up 26 of the Seahawks week 1. After that, their opponents have scored 13, 7, and 9.
Jeez. Let's go on to the other 3 o'clock game. Speaking of the Raiders. The Raiders got a dub over the Browns. Do we need to write the Browns off the list?
Fuck. Yeah, probably. I don't see 3 AFC North teams getting in. I think the Browns or the Steelers and the Ravens will. Yeah, let's write them off. You good with that?
I mean, I don't want to do it yet. I was asking if we should. But they're on life alert.
Yeah, they are on life alert.
They might be toast, honestly. If we're talking about them, we could maybe write them off.
I think they're toast. Let's write them off, Sheets. We have 100% accuracy so far this year. We're writing them off.
Okay. All right.
Right above Bryce Young's career.
Yeah. Yeah, that is also gone. They play the Commanders next week. They're probably going to lose. So I think they're done.
That fan base is going to burn that city down.
And after a playoff berth, too, then they go back to being mediocre.
We should know they actually should have won that game. There was a bullshit holding call that should not have been called, and it was a Amari Cooper touchdown. It was very clear. Even the announcers were like, that is not a holding. So they should have won this game. With that said, that's shoulda, coulda, wouldas. They still lost.
Right. Speaking of the Commanders, they put a whooping on the Cardinals. And I'm telling you, I think this is the best team in the NFC East. Jaden Daniels is a star. We know that for sure. 26 for 30 passing. Leads him to a win. Touchdown pass. Kyler Murray couldn't even get 150 yards throwing the ball. I had high expectations for Marvin Harrison yesterday. Where the fuck was that guy at? James Conner, he did okay. But the Cardinals got whooped, and that defense looked terrible.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. I bet on the Cardinals. I really – they're such a back and forth team. Some weeks I'm like, the Cardinals look damn good. And then other weeks this happens, and I'm like, what the hell? So I'm from the foreseeable future, I'm staying away from betting the Cardinals. I think they're a dangerous 1-3 team. Is Jaden Daniels? He's got to be the front runner for Rookie of the Year, right? Who else is in that race?
I would say he's number one right now. You probably put Caleb Williams there, but
yeah, but statistically, he's already so far past Caleb Williams. Is there any running backs or receivers that?
No, I don't see anyone. Bucky Irving, maybe.
I hope, because I've got him in fantasy, but I don't think so.
I think it's Jaden Daniels to lose right now, by far.
I think so too. He's going to be. He looks like the best quarterback out of this draft class. He's so accurate too. 26 for 30 this week.
Yeah. I have him in my starting lineup in our dynasty league. He's taken over as a franchise QB from day one.
His completion percentage through 4 games is 82%. He's got 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, but he also has 4 touchdowns on the ground and 218 yards. Yeah, I like him a lot. I actually am glad he's on the Commanders, not some team I hate, because I like watching Jaden Daniels. I think they're good. I just think they're a year or two away still.
In our dynasty league, I traded Dak Prescott so I could draft Jaden Daniels. It's paid off.
That's a great trade. Who was it? Doyle that traded you that?
No, BJ White.
Nice, BJ. Yep. That was a dumb trade.
So he got Dak Prescott. I got a bunch of picks, and then I drafted Jaden Daniels in like the second round.
It's a good draft pick. Good fantasy manager you are.
I'm a good GM. I'm a great GM. The last game from yesterday we haven't got to yet. The 49ers whomped on the Patriots 30-13. Fred Warner had a pick 6 in this game. The Niners break that 2-game losing streak. Brock Purdy throws for close to 300 yards again. Jordan Mason is a damn good running back in McCaffrey's absence. And then, again, it's the Juwan Jennings show. He showed up again for a second week in a row. 3 catches, 88 yards. Are the Niners back?
They never left. But let's rewind to what you just said. Jordan Mason's a good running back.
Yeah.
Now, I agree with you, Sheets, but you've been on record and many others saying that Brock Purdy is just a system quarterback and the things around him, the people around him make him a good quarterback. You don't think that's just when we're talking about the running back, it's something different?
I haven't been that big of a hater on Brock Purdy compared to others. I think I give him his flowers from time to time.
Who's better, Brock Purdy or Jordan Mason?
Who's better at their respective positions?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy.
All right. That's all I needed. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, no, Jordan Mason's played 2 game sheets.
He played last year too. But yeah,
started.
They're going to be in the Super Bowl. The 49ers will be in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
You know what? I'm starting that column. I'm writing the 49ers in the Super Bowl on my side.
Wow. It's week 4.
They're salty about last year. Brock's got another year under his belt. Fred Warner is the best player in the league, defensive player in the league. I just think it's an automatic bid to the Super Bowl.
They lost to the Vikings, though, this year.
Yeah, I know. But we're in week – what did you just say? We're in week 4.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just wondering. I thought it's a little early to write in a team, but you go for it. Let's get to our stats. Our stat of the week brought to you by Smoking Candles. You got that video? Got that audio pulled up?
Yep. Smoking Candles, presenting sponsor. Hopefully this audio comes out right, but this is the stat of the week.
Your Stolkin stat of the week. The Minnesota Vikings, through 4 weeks, have only trailed for a total of 3 minutes and 26 seconds.
Did you hear that okay?
Yeah, you can hear that crystal clear.
That's impressive. I would love to have that stat. And you can hear the joy in his voice on this Monday morning, this Victory Monday. He's very happy, jolly, blowing up the group chat in all caps as he does. And that's an impressive stat. They haven't trailed much. I'll be revisiting this stat come January 7th.
Okay. It is an impressive stat. Like I said earlier, the Vikings, I think, are the best team in the NFL right now. You seem to disagree, but we'll see how it plays out.
That's a bold statement. Do you have a ass out of the week?
It was Shane Steichen.
Oh, Shane Steichen got the ass out of the week.
He got the ass out of the week. Anthony Richardson hurts his hip.
Oh, yeah.
Sits out 2 plays. He puts him back in, and then the first play that they runs, once he goes back in, is a quarterback run, designed quarterback run, and he fucking busts his hip up again. And he's out for the rest of the game. It was either between him or Patrick Mahomes throwing a pick and tearing his receiver's ACL. Both of those guys. The Colts one pissed me off a little bit more, though, so they got the nod.
All right. So Shane Steichen, ass out of the week. My game ball is going to go – I just had it. I literally just had it. Oh, yeah. Nope. It's the first ever preemptive game ball.
Oh,
and it goes to Tyler Huntley, the best backup in the NFL. And he is not getting any credit. I'm looking at the lines. I'm looking at props. They must have forgot. Vegas must have forgot who this man is when he comes in. Now, not only is he a great backup quarterback, but as we've seen, these backup quarterbacks tend to come in and go off in game 1 and then kind of come back to life game 2. I think he's going to have a hell of a game. I'm on the Dolphins. We'll get to the bets later, but he's the game ball of the week before he even steps foot on that field.
Okay. He is a former Pro Bowler. People forget about that. Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley is going to go off tonight. We'll get to these picks later. Let's get Mason Doyle on the horn here. Talk about Sunday night's game last night.
Hey, boys.
How we doing?
How's it going? I'm doing. How are you boys?
We're doing good. Thanks for joining the show.
Am I coming through clear? Am I echoey at all?
We can hear you perfect.
Perfect. We're in the lab down in the basement, so I've never really done anything down here before, so I didn't know how it'd come through.
The acoustics sound nice.
Excellent. Ravens played the game we expect. That's really all I got. Nothing impressive. Beat a bum-ass organization. No, really. Coming into that, I would have said that I would have said it's the Bills or the Vikings that are the best team in the league this year. And then all of a sudden, I saw a fun stat today. It had been 43 games since the Bills lost by more than 6. And managed to beat them by 25. So that was fantastic. It's a great organization. They have great talent and coaching. They have some good players on the field. And got it done. Got it done in a big way. Joe Brady's father is a young former linebackers coach named Zach Orr. Who knew it? But
I should have known when you guys walked out in your all black uniforms. I should have immediately bet the Ravens. Those things are sick.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson. There was a picture taken of him at Baltimore's Thurgood Marshall Airport. On his way out on the PJ, he was wearing a Kobe Bryant T-shirt, number 8 era. So pregame, seeing that picture, I was surprised he didn't go for 500, 4 passing tugs and a rushing tug. But he gave the rock to Henry, which is what we were hoping for. Since the minute he signed him, was like, let's just give that guy the ball. And finally we are.
According to the Ebony Bird, you guys are 19-6 in the All Blacks all time.
That's an interesting stat. Is there may be an alternate we're undefeated in? I don't know if it's the all purple, or maybe it's the all black. We were undefeated up to a point, but we have a set of uniforms that we're undefeated in. But I can't remember now what we wore in the AFC Championship, but hopefully we never wear that again. Can't remember what the boys were wearing.
Those unis can be scrapped. And I got to give the hats off to the Ravens. They saved my sports betting day yesterday. I loaded up on them. I said, I'm already down. I'm either going to go down swinging and go down big, or the Ravens are going to bring this baby back. So I took first quarter money line Ravens, first half money line Ravens. I hammered the full game money line, and I took them on the spread. So it was a big night. Turned around a rotten day. So big one.
Yeah. I had the weekend of my life sports betting. I had the weekend of my life. It was culminated with the Ravens. I had Lamar Jackson, 150 plus passing. He went for 156, 40 plus rushing. He had 54, over 1.5 passing tugs. That was a plus 295 parlay. I smacked that. I boldly took Kentucky money line over Ole Miss. Smacked that. I took Alabama money line. Got up on that so big. I took a middle bet. Georgia plus 18.5 that paid me as well. So I doubled up on that game. I had the sports betting weekend of my life. I should probably retire. My units are $10. I got a little crazy this weekend. All told, that would leave me up 97 units on the weekend.
Oh, shit.
We got after it.
I'm right there with you. I didn't have quite a good weekend as you did, but I had a plus 724.
Wow.
A plus 604, a plus 539 on one day yesterday. But I do have a question for you, because I'm a fucking owner of 2 Ravens players in fantasy, and they're really starting to piss me off. And I'm sure you can guess who it is, but I got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. What the hell? Who should I be starting going forward? Likely?
If they had a stat for effective blocking on fantasy, I would keep Mark Andrews and scrap Isaiah Likely. I don't know. We finally get a target to him in a great situation. He has a lot of field in front of him. Ball hits his hands. Mark Andrews doesn't do that. I don't know what's going on with him. Isaiah Likely is so dynamic. I don't know what the organization's plan is. As long as you're going to be this ground and pound team, 2 big athletic tight ends, a great thing to keep on the roster. I can't picture us ever moving on from Mark Andrews. We're far too loyal of an organization. But while he has the value he has, it's a consideration you'd think you'd make, especially with a guy like Isaiah Likely available. But it's going to be the Derrick Henry show for the foreseeable future. And if you can get value out of one of those guys, I'd pick up Justice Hill. He's going to be our go-to receiving option as long as he can perform the way he just did. He was our receptions and receiving yards leader last night with that receiving tug. And when you can perform like that, you really have no reason to look for the tight end. And Zay Flowers didn't even get fed. I mean, there are weapons that could have just been left on the bench and still beat a team like the Bills 35-10. At some point, I understand keeping the foot on the Lamar said the gas on the pedal, which was funny as fuck. But I understand that. But at some point, it's like there's so many ways this team could cut you that we haven't even touched yet. It's really insane that this team is only 500, in my opinion, with how many things we could still do. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am an Isaiah Likely owner. I came into this season not wanting to touch Mark Andrews. I had him last year when he went down. I picked up Isaiah Likely. I couldn't believe the success I had with him. But this year I stayed away from Mark Andrews simply for, if I'm a defense, I cannot not focus Mark Andrews, and that's going to open up Isaiah Likely. So that's the guy I went with. But
you'd be a good salesman, because you just made me write in the Ravens for the Super Bowl. My big stand is now 49ers Ravens Super Bowl. That's what's going to happen.
I'm a salesman by trade. I actually am. But yeah, the Ravens, we got to get one. Lamar did an interview in 2021 when he said he wanted to win a Super Bowl, wear number 8. Come back the next year, change to number 1. Play as long as it takes to get a Super Bowl, wear number 1. Retire both numbers and retire a Raven. So, still a lofty goal, still damn near impossible. But with the Patrick Mahomes fall off, fucking maybe. Maybe. Rashi's going to be healthy just in time for them 8 felonies to fucking hit you, Vanny.
Oh, shit.
You sold me too, Doyle. I mean, if it's not going to be the Colts, I think it's going to be the Ravens. That's a hell of a pitch, and I can see why you get so many dudes to buy the cars like they do.
There's a calmness in Lamar that we've seen for a few years now. I mean, he is just so, I don't know, I don't even know how to put it. He's so comfortable in being a leader. He's had a couple of years now with this Todd Monken offense. He looks like he understands everything that's going on. He's grinning after a play goes wrong. You know, that ball gets dropped by Mark Andrews. Last year, that's the Lamar trying to get in his ear, you know, which is what a leader does. This year, he's grinning at. That's fucking Mark Andrews. He doesn't need to get in his – he's making the right decisions as a leader. This is definitely his team. And there's so much less pressure on him with a guy like Derrick Henry that if this is a guy that can get you a Super Bowl, this is the system in which it'll happen. And I believe that last year, 100%. In my opinion, they were the best team in football, and it wasn't close, and it took a terrible game to eliminate us from contention, and one of the best games that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have ever played in the first half, coupled with that, and still barely beat us, but whatever. I think this could be the year, and I think it's a purple Super Bowl, in my opinion. I think it's Vikings-Ravens. That's what I expect.
Oh, my Lord.
That's what I think.
I've agreed with everything you said up until this point. You think the Vikings are going to be in the Super Bowl?
4 weeks. I know it's early. It's been 4 weeks.
It's 18-week-long season.
It's been 4 weeks of some astoundingly good play. They've played incredibly well. All that being said, there are some really good teams on the NFC side as well. The Niners are good. The Lions, when we get into bets, we'll get into a couple of my picks tonight. I'm a Lions fan. I like that organization. I like quite a few NFC teams because they don't really fuck us up. Been a long time since I had to be upset over a loss to the NFC. But no, the Lions, they could definitely contend. They're just a couple of pieces, decision making wise away. I think that there's a lot of teams that could contend, but right now, Super Bowl's tomorrow. The Vikings are it. They look fantastic.
Well, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle, and the Super Bowl is not tomorrow. But
That's fair.
I got 2 questions for you. One, the first question is, who's the Ravens' biggest rivals? Is it the Chiefs or the Steelers? Or I guess it could be the Browns or someone else, but
it's the Steelers. Yeah, you're not a Raven until you beat the Steelers is the saying. I mean, they're the big rival. And Mike Tomlin kind of owns Lamar Jackson, which is hilarious because he's a great coach. He hasn't owned much else, but he fucking owns Lamar Jackson. It's been a while since he really owned much other than our ass. But it's quickly becoming like, as a Ravens fan, you hate the Chiefs. But I think, you know, as just a guy from up the street, you hate the Chiefs. Everybody that lives more than 10 miles outside of Kansas City hates that piece of shit fucking organization and everything associated with it. So, yeah. But our rival, the one we have to beat, is the Steelers. The Bengals really haven't been a problem for the Ravens the last few years. The Browns, it's always a good game. It's a divisional matchup, but, you know, Lamar always gets consent, so we're going to win with God on that one. So,
the second question is, if you had to pick one Ravens player that's washed up between Joe Flacco and Mark Andrews, who do you pick? Or not Joe Flacco, Justin Tucker.
Mark Andrews is not washed up. It would have to be Justin Tucker. And I love him. I love the guy. And he's not that old for a kicker. I think it's mental. I don't think his body's breaking down. But Mark Andrews is not washed up. He's moving and looking just as good as he always did. We're just not utilizing him right now. Justin Tucker is the one that's not performing. Mark Andrews is on the field for about a third of the snaps this season, and he's just not being utilized. He still has a lot of career in front of him, whereas Justin Tucker, he will never recover if the Ravens have to move on from him. And if we're a real Super Bowl contender and we cannot trust him, that cannot be a loyalty thing. It just cannot. You have to have a kicker you can trust coming into a situation like that. And if he's not going to be that, thanks for the memories. You're the greatest kicker we will ever have, but we're going to need somebody else.
Fair.
Yeah, we'll never have another Justin Tucker, but I'll take that fucker that's on the Packers right now if we're contending for a Super Bowl. I don't care.
No, you don't. Trust me, you don't. He's terrible. He missed 2 this last week and has missed 2 though. Yeah. He's missed 4 this season, but
yeah, looked great. Looked great for the Titans in the preseason, right? Was it the Titans?
Was it the Titans? We had Greg Joseph on the Vikings, and he must have been from the Titans. Yeah,
that was one of those that I read an article and I picked him for fantasy, and then after that I was like, I'm not going to fuck with the kicker.
They might as well let me go kick field goals at Lambeau because it just keeps getting worse every year.
There was a point in time when we lost a football game in high school. They should have let me kick, but that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. Opel should let me kick it. That's all I'm saying.
That is true. That is true.
I'll die on that hill.
It's a good hill to die on. Let's get to our Monday Night Football picks. We have a doubleheader, so let's fire off our picks here for the first game. It's a star-studded affair between the Tennessee Titans and the Dolphins. Miami Dolphins with not even their backup quarterback in, their third stringer now. They brought in off the bench. Brought off the street. Tyler Huntley, the former Pro Bowler tonight. Does he get it done, or do the Titans pick up a win? They're itching for one. Can the Dolphins pick one up, keep their season kind of alive for another week, or do you think Tennessee pulls the upset tonight? And then the second game, much better game. We got the Lions taking on the Seahawks. So luckily we won't have to watch the first game for 45 minutes, so we can switch over. But what are your thoughts? Let's get our picks on that first game real quick.
If I get to go first, I think not only does Snoop bring a dub, but probably releases a video with Gia Duddy tomorrow. And then in that game, though, bet picks real quick. I like Tony Pollard to get a tug. I do like that a lot. I'm a Tony Pollard fan. I like Tyler Huntley to go over 200. Like you said, they're giving insane value on Tyler Huntley. They're not giving him his respect. Give Snoop his respect. If I'm wrong on this one, I can live with it. Tyler Huntley 200 plus is like plus 220 on FanDuel. That's the easiest bet of my life. With the weapons that he has in that system, all he has to do is show up and not fuck it up.
Yeah.
Give me Tyler Huntley 200 plus. So yeah, in that game, I think the Dolphins pull it out, but I like a Tony Pollard tug. I think the Titans are they don't really have an identity right now. They don't really have something to play around. You look at the other teams that are playing tonight, Miami, it's hard to go down with that much star power on your team. They have got to, with the coach scheme and team that they have got to get a couple dubs despite the adversity. Whereas the Titans, they need one, but I just don't think it comes tonight. That's what I got for that game. What do you got, Iowa State?
Well, first of all, you have some small shoes to fill because our guests went 2-0 the first week, 0-2 the next, 2-0 the next, and 0-2 last week. Gotcha. So the guest pick is 4-4, and I actually agree with you. My two picks for this game is Tyler Huntley over 168 passing yards. That's his over-under. I like the 200. I'll probably put some on that too. And then with that, if he's going to have that many passing yards, I'm taking Tyreek's over at 50.5. It's 50.5 receiving yards for the best receiver in the game. Give me that all day. Those are my two picks.
I was not aware of that line. I love that line. Have you considered a ladder on that?
I did a little different ladder. I took his over in receptions, over in yards, and him to score. Parlay together.
Gotcha. What do you got, Maurice?
This game is a gross game. I still haven't decided which team I'm going to pick. I might have to sit this one out on either of the spreads. So it's going to go to prop territory here. I think Calvin Ridley's over receiving yards should look pretty solid, 42.5. He's recorded 50-plus receiving yards in his last 6 road games.
I like that.
So that's my first pick. Are we going to the second pick back-to-back? What should we do here?
Yep. We gave our 2 picks. You give your 2 picks.
You got it.
I think I'm going to go with Tony Pollard over rushing yards. Did we get that one yet?
Nope. What is it?
We have a touchdown, but not rushing yards, right?
What's his line?
51.5. In his last 3 of his 4 Monday night appearances, he's gone for 60 yards or more. I think it's 4 out of 5 tonight.
I like it.
What
are
are the
2 props? So I can't think of the over/under is low. I can't think of either side. So those are my 2 picks. Going to be props.
All right. So to sum up that game, we've got Tony Pollard anytime touchdown, Huntley over 168 and 200, Tyreek over 50.5, Ridley over 42.5, and another Tony Pollard bet of over 51.5 rushing yards.
And Miami is allowing 112 a game this year, so that's fair. That's probably I like that pick. I might be on that for a couple bucks, maybe a unit.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next, because I fucking love interception props. So here I am. Jared Goff throws a pick. Jared Goff throws a pick to Mike McDonald's fucking team. They're giving positive on that. Jared Goff to record an interception is plus 100 on FanDuel. I will take that. I will take that all day. And then on the other side, Noah Fant over under for receptions is 2.5. His target share is going up each week. He's a guy Gino trusts. I really like Noah Fant to haul in 3. I don't know if you guys know this, but Noah Fant's from Iowa. And on the other side, there's that young cat from Iowa thinks he's the shit. Got to show out.
I like both those picks a lot. I'm gonna take both of those. Mine were. I think that D line and Aiden Hutchinson is going to be all over Geno Smith, and it's going to cause him to scramble a little bit. So I've got Geno over 10.5 rushing yards at like minus 118. And then I've got David Montgomery over 14.5 rushing attempts. He's blown that out of the water 2 of the 3 games. And I think Dan Campbell loves giving him the rock. I think he easily gets that, especially if they get ahead early.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go, so we haven't touched the spread yet. I'm going to hammer the Lions, minus 4 as my first pick. I think they win big tonight. Sorry, Gino, but I love the Lions in this spot. So I'm taking them on the spread. I feel much more confident about that. I did the first game. Probably won't touch that first game, but I am hammering the Lions, minus 4. And then give me anytime Tutty. Let's go with DK Metcalf. I think DK Metcalf will score. Plus 135 odds on that. I think everyone's going to go like hammer like Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. They're going to forget about DK. I think he's going to sneak by somebody and go for a big one. Touchdown.
He is a scary human being.
Yeah.
You look at the scariest human beings in the league. He is up there. And he'll fuck you. You know? We found out he'll fuck you. And that
Yep.
And he can if he wants, you know. That's one of the scariest things. He can run you down.
Yeah.
And he can do it.
It's not on my official picks, but I do think those Seahawks defensive backs tend to lock up receivers, and I have taken over receptions on Laporta, Gibbs, and Williams, even though I think what's-his-nuts will be on Amon-Ra most of the night. I think they're going to have to force it to other people besides Amon-Ra.
I think that was already a solid defensive team with a solid defensive attitude. And then you bring in a guy like Mike McDonald, that's going to be their bread and butter as long as he's there. The framework's already there, and then you bring a guy in like that. Kickoff just happened. Just went live on the Titans and Dolphins game. Yep, 6:30.
And for those who have watched every episode this year, we're 13-11 on Monday night. Meisner's 4-4. Our guest is 4-4. I'm 5-3. So you're profitable better if you're betting with Lamb on the line.
Are you guys going to start selling a subscription like everybody on TikTok or what?
Just free OnlyFans. We won't be selling anything.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. I just locked all these in. My picks are in. I don't know if you guys know, but I do not win sports bets. So coming off a streak like I am, it's time to start giving some money back, trying not to be greedy. But yeah, that's what I got.
I think we're going to continue the winning ways tonight. I feel a big night for all our picks tonight. Doubleheader, enjoy it. We're going to say sign up so you can get to that Tennessee-Miami game real fast. I know you've been waiting all night to see it. Thanks, Doyle, for joining us tonight. Thanks for everyone who got up here, watched. Lay 'em on the line, week 4. We're already month in this season, bitch.